Hi, my name's Amanda and today I'm going to show you how to make the puff stitch. There's lots of different variations of this stitch. This one is reversible, so it is the same on both sides. So it's nice for blankets, nice for scarves and a nice easy stitch. So off we go. So choose your yarn with your corresponding hook. If you did want your puffs a little bit tighter, then you could go down a hook size. If you wanted your puffs a little bit looser, you could go up one. But I have got Stylecraft double knit here and I'm using a size 4.5mm. So for this stitch, you need to chain an even number of stitches. It doesn't matter how many, depending on the project you're working, you just need an even number. I've just done 18, and of course, I've got my stitch marker in my first chain as always. And I will be using UK terms. So in the second chain from our hook, remember this one doesn't count. That one is our first one, and then our next one along, number 2, we are going to be doing a UK double. So that's just hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, as always, I will put my stitch marker in my first chain there. Although as we go along, amazingly, this stitch, you don't really need them, which is not something you'll hear me say very often. So in each stitch along, you are just going to do a UK double and work your way across until you come to the other end. So we've got a UK double in each stitch across, and I will meet you at the other end. I'm coming up to my last stitch. I know that's my last one because that's where my stitch marker is. So hook in, last stitch, chain 1 and turn your work. So with puffs and bobbles, you need to keep things quite loose, otherwise you've got no chance of getting your hook back through them. And we are going to be working in this very first stitch here. So if I put my work down and make it straight, you can see that this I'm going to zoom in a tad as well. So where my chain is coming out of here, this hole here is where we are going. So the very first stitch where your chain is coming out of, that is where we are working into. I'm just going to zoom back out, pick it all back up again, and off we go. So we're going to go in here 3 times to actually make our stitch. So the first time is hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now then, you want to make this quite loose, especially till you get the hang of it. Make these quite loose. Otherwise, you've got no chance of getting your hook back through. So we're going to go in again, but this time we're going to yarn over first before you go back in exactly the same space. Pull up a loop, and you've now got 4 loops on your hook. Remember, keep this nice and loose. We're going to go in exactly the same space again. So we're going to yarn over, in we go, pull up a loop. You've now got 6 loops on your hook. Keep this nice and loose. Put your fingers there, you're going to yarn over and pull through all 6. Sometimes it just goes through straight away like that. Other times you have to give them a wiggle. Sometimes you just have to think, no, it's not happening. Take them off, start again. So we've now pulled through. So to secure this puff, you're going to chain 1. And that is our first puff made. So then we're going to skip the next stitch, which is here. You can see that's where we've just been. This is our next stitch, and this is the next one we are going in, and that is how you do the puff stitch. So first of all is just straight in, yarn over, pull up a loop. We have 2. Remember, keep them loose. Next 2 times you're going to yarn over first. So you're going to yarn over exactly the same space. In we go, pull up a loop. You've now got 4 loops on your hook. Remember, keep them nice and loose. Last time, yarn over, exactly the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop. We've got 6 on our hook. Remember, keep nice and loose, keep hold there, yarn over, pull through all 6. Oh, see, this one wants a wiggle. Sometimes they do. There we go. And chain 1 to secure it. And there we are, our first 2 puffs. So again, this is where we've just been. This is our next one. We're going to skip that one and we're going to go in our next stitch. So straight in first of all, yarn over, pull up a loop. Remember, keep them nice and loose. Next time you're going to yarn over before you go back in the same hole. Yarn over, pull up a loop. We've now got 4. And exactly the same space again. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You've now got 6. Keep nice and tight hold there. Yarn over, pull through all 6. So that one was nice and easy. Chain 1 to secure your puff. And that is what you're going to repeat the whole way down. So miss one and then puff in the next one. And I will see you at the end of the row. So I'm at the end of my row. I've got 2 stitches left. So just in my last one there, I'm just going to complete my last puff stitch. Pull through all 6, and this time we are going to chain 2. Oh, that last one's been a bit tricky. There we go. We're going to chain 2 and turn our work. So to make them lie side by side, we want to position them so they go not on top of each other. So this is what we've just done. So if you pull your work apart a bit, you can see after each puff there's a hole, and that is where we are going to be working. So if you sort of shove your puff stitch to the side, you can see a stitch there, and those are the stitches that we're working in. So push it to the side, and that's where you're going. Once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to see them quite easily. But if you just need to pull it apart, so that's our puff, push it to the side, and that's the stitch you're going in. So let's get together and off we go. So this is our first puff stitch, and we are going in there. I can move it a bit more like that. So that is my first stitch, and if I pull it apart, there's a hole there, and that's where we're going. So you're going to do exactly the same thing. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over. We've now got 4, yarn over, 6, pull through, give them a wiggle, chain 1. So our next one, again, if you've got your puff here, push it to one side, and that's where you're going. So that's your puff stitch, push it to one side, and we're going in there. In, hook in, you've got 2, yarn over in the same space. You've got 4, yarn over, same space. Chain, pull it through, chain 1 to secure. So again, this is our puff stitch, push it to the side, and the hole there is where you're going. It's actually really quite easy to see that you don't need stitch markers, and there's not many times you'll hear me say you don't need a stitch marker. So again, this is your puff, push it to one side, that's the hole you're going in. I'll just do that last one with you. And that is what they look like. So they sit in between each other and off to an angle. So that's it. That is the puff stitch. Next bit, I'm going to show you when you want to finish, how to actually put a double crochet row along the top. So if you were making a scarf, you'd have a one on the bottom, and you can have a row on the top as well, just to neaten it off. So that's where I'm going to show you how to finish next time. So I'm on my last puff stitch, and again, just push it to the side. That's where you're going. So I'm just going to complete that last one. So, and I'm going to pretend that this is the end of my project now. So whether you're making a scarf or a blanket, whatever, this is the last stitch of my project. So I've pulled through, and this time I'm only going to chain 1 and turn my work. So what we want to do now to finish it off, to neaten it off, to make it the same as the starting, is to do a row of UK doubles across the top. And you can see the V's that you need to go in, and it really is just as simple as that. So that very first stitch is going there where your chain is coming out of. Just a regular UK double crochet. I will put a stitch marker in because I just want to. You don't have to, but it's handy because what you really want is the same number of stitches on the bottom and on the top. So if you were making a big scarf or a big blanket, as I will always do, I would put stitch markers in every 20 or every 10, depending on how big your project is. So you can count that, and you will have also written it down. And then you know you're going to get the same amount of stitches in on the top there as well. But literally where you can see that stitch is where you are going, and just go across and make your row of UK doubles. So I should have 17 by the time I work my way across, and that will be the same as my starting chain. So you're just going to go in and work your way across and neaten it off so it will look like that along the bottom and like that across the top. And that's how you finish it off. And this is what it should look like. So that row of double crochet along the top just finishes it off and neatens the edges. I hope you've liked this video. Please remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.